Hello there, very good evening and welcome to Primetime News here on News First, where the people come first. You're joining me, Naveksha Gunasekara. Let's start off by taking a look at your headlines.
Fuel imports to be restricted in the next 12 months. QR system mandatory from the 1st of August. Russia's Vladimir Putin congratulates President Ranil Wickremesinghe. New Prime Minister assumes duties. Travel ban on Aragalaya activists. Manusha's view on the Aragalaya.
මේ කැරලි කරුවන් සහ අරගල කරුවන් කියන්නේ දෙපාර්ශ්වයක් කියන එක අපි පැහැදිලිව අවබෝධ කරගන්න ඕනේ.
Main sponsor.
Earn a highest interest rate of 21% for 4 months fixed deposits. LB Yasaisuru.
In your top story tonight, schools that were closed owing to the fuel crisis in the country reopened for academic activities today. However, students as well as teachers were compelled to attend school amidst an unresolved fuel crisis.
Although buses of the Sisusaria school service had been deployed to transport students, a notable reduction in the number of private school transport was observed.
අපේ අංකේ තියෙන දාට ගියාට හෙඩ් එක ළඟට යනකොට ඩීසල් නැහැ. ඊළඟට අපිට තියෙන ඊළඟ සතියේ.
දැන් මේ තෙල් ප්‍රශ්නේ ඉඳලා අපිට මේක හරි කරගන්න හරි අමාරුයි. මොකද මේ තෙල් ඒ දිනවලට ඉස්කෝල තියෙන දිනවලට තමයි අපිට තියෙන්නේ.
The dearth in fuel has compelled parents to undergo the onerous task of transporting their children to schools.
පෝලිං වල ඉතින් දවස් 3-4 ඉඳලා තමයි පෝලිං වල ඉඳලා තමයි අපි තෙල් ගහගත්තේ. ඉතින් ගහන්නේ 2000 මේකේ දවස් 3ක් එන්න බෑ ඉස්කෝලට. ඉතින් ඉස්කෝල යන්න එන්න හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ මේ යන විදිහත් එක්ක.
Our cameras captured the manner in which students across the island travelled to their schools using public transport today.
Around 40% of private school buses were not in operation today because even though depots issued fuel, they were limited to 20 or 30 buses.
Sri Lanka's fuel crisis remains unresolved, with thousands of Sri Lankans lining up at filling stations across the country to purchase either petrol or diesel.
Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara said due to the forex issues, fuel imports have been restricted in the next 12 months. He said that the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, or the CPC, has never distributed fuel daily to every single fuel station, adding that it is practically not possible even when stocks are unlimited. The National Fuel Pass will be made mandatory for fuel purchases from the 1st of August this year. Fuel can be purchased as per the last digit of the number plate until the 1st of August, and thereafter the National Fuel Pass is a must for fuel purchases. The National Fuel Pass will be implemented island-wide at Sipetco and Lanka IOC filling stations, and all filling station owners at Sipetco and Lanka IOC are expected to adopt the system immediately. Ugly scenes are being reported daily from filling stations island-wide, and Putlam is no exception. A tense situation was reported at the Sipetco filling station in Saryavawa, Putlam due to the number plate system. The filling station had stopped issuing fuel at 3 p.m. yesterday for the vehicles that were supposed to receive fuel yesterday, as it had run out of fuel stocks. Vehicle owners who were supposed to obtain fuel yesterday and today, as per the number plate system, remained in line, and the filling station did not receive fuel even by this evening. Newsfirst correspondent said that the management of the filling station had announced that a fuel delivery is expected tonight, and the fuel will be given to the vehicles that are supposed to receive fuel tomorrow, as per the number plate system.
අවසාන අංකවලට තෙල් ගහන්න කියලා කිව්වට මහත්තයෝ මේකේ තෙල් ගහන්න තෙල් එන්නේ සතියකට දෙකකට එක සැරේ. ඊයේ ආව තෙල් එකක් පෙරේද රෑ ආවේ. ඊයේ ඒ තෙල් එක ගැව්වේ අංක 3 4 5 වලට. එතකොට දැන් අද තියෙන්නේ අංක 6 7 8 9 කියන අංක 4. එතකොට දැන් අද ගහ ගන්න තියෙන මේ ඉන්නවා 2000කට වැඩිය සේනක මෙතන. ඒ ආට අද තෙල් එන්නේ. අද රෑ 12ටලු තෙල් එක එන්නේ. එතකොට ස්ථානාධිපතිතුමා ආවිලා සාලියාව කියනවා අපිට මෙතනින් පිටත් වෙන්නලු. මොකද හෙට අංක වලට ගහන්න ගහන්න තියෙන එක.
මම දැන් කතා කරලා කනිජ සංස්ථාවට කිව්වොත් ඔයාට 3-4 පාර තෙල් එකක් නැහැ කියලා මට දැන් තෙල් 6600ක් එවනවද? එයා දැන් කතා කරලා දුන්නොත් මම දැන් බවුසරේ යවනවා. මම සල්ලිත් දෙන්නම් බවුසරෙත් දෙන්නම් ඩ්‍රයිවරුත් දෙන්නම් තෙල් එක මං ගේන්නම්. මාව කණ්ඩ හදලා වැඩක් නැහැ.
ඊ හවස වගේ මිනිහා ආවි රස්සාවෙන් ඉඳලා මේ වෙනකම් වාහනේ පොලිමේ තියාගෙන ඉඳලා දරුවෝ ටික 4 දෙනාම ඉස්කෝලේට ගිහින් දැන් මේ දරුවෝ 4 දෙනා ගන්න දැන් යන්නේ රිසර්ව් වැටලා වීල් එකේ.
Several motorcycles were taken away by police as the road was obstructed. A filling station in Hambantota stopped issuing fuel at 8 p.m. last night, while vehicles that were eligible to receive fuel yesterday and today still remained in queues. Heated exchanges were reported when authorities said that fuel will only be sold to the vehicles that are scheduled to receive fuel today, as per the number plate system. A Sipetco filling station in Kurunagala issued fuel without taking the number system into consideration, as the filling station had not received fuel for the last 4 days. This is the situation at a Sipetco filling station in Deyandara Matra last night. A man had attempted to attack the filling station manager using a chainsaw after he was refused fuel. Newsfirst correspondent said that the man was arrested by the police.
Russian President Vladimir Putin congratulated President Ranil Wickremesinghe for being elected as the 8th executive president of Sri Lanka.
Issuing a statement, the Russian president has congratulated President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The Russian president had said the Russian-Sri Lankan relations are of traditionally friendly nature. Putin had said, quote, "I am counting on your activities as head of state to foster further development of the constructive bilateral cooperation in various spheres for the benefit of our peoples and in the interest of strengthening the regional stability and security," end quote. President Putin also wished Ranil Wickremesinghe every success as well as good health and prosperity.
Newly appointed Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena assumed duties this morning at the Prime Minister's office.
Dinesh Gunawardena, who was elected to Parliament from the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumana, took oaths as the 27th Prime Minister on the 22nd. A group including the General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumana, Sagara Karyawasam, were present at the event.
Sri Lanka's President's office resumed operations this morning after 100 days.
The President's office did not operate for approximately 100 days as protesters from Gota Gogama occupied the area surrounding it. Cleaning and repair work were underway to ready the President's office over the weekend as security forces opened golfways in front of the Secretariat for Traffic. Heavy security was provided to the President's office today.
Cabinet Minister Manu Shananayakara today commented on the raid on the Aragalaya.
කැරලි කරුවන් සහ අරගල කරුවන් කියන්නේ දෙපාර්ශවයක් කියන එක අපි පැහැදිලිව අවබෝධ කරගන්න ඕනේ.
We need to understand that those involved in the Aragalaya and the rioters are two different groups. Groups that cannot win a mandate from the people and want to create a power outside of parliament are operating in this Aragalaya. This Aragalaya was heading towards an armed struggle. Therefore, in order to protect the state, the operation to liberate the President's office took place. It was not carried out to protect the government or individuals. The three armed forces carry out the duties that is vested in them to protect the state. The head of the World Food Programme, who was to land on Saturday, did not arrive and his visit was postponed by a month. They were preparing to provide funding to feed the people for 3 months. Due to the unrest, that was delayed. Many of the relief that was supposed to be provided by August have been delayed by 2 months. We need to establish peace, and one must understand that what is taking place is controlled from somewhere else. Who wants to lead the country towards anarchy? People with dual citizenship are creating crisis from overseas using the diaspora funds. Have a look at the names and the faces of those in this Aragalaya, and also have a look at their backgrounds. Have a look at their international support. The international community that did not even tweet when an MP was killed or even when MPs' houses were torched, tweeted condemning the actions of liberating the President's office.
Activists commented on the raid at the Goldface protest site by security forces recently.
At
11:30 p.m. that night, we received information of an attack on the protest site. We banded together and met with the army officers, and they informed us that there was no military or police attack on the site. But moments later, around 400 to 500 men armed with batons, weapons and wires charged at us. They attacked the physically challenged and disabled war heroes. They attacked the venerable Theros. So our question is, who carried out the attack? Are these trainees? It was evident that they were under the influence of narcotics. They never behaved as trained personnel. We have seen such charges on protests on television before. There were thugs among the police and army ranks on that day. It means that the attack was carried out by a mixed group. The military and police must reveal who carried out the attack without making statements to cover up their mess. All I can say is that the Ranil Rajapaksa rule has deployed mercenaries to counter the Aragalaya. I do not believe that the three armed forces would lead such an attack. As a war hero, I have serious doubts about the group that attacked us.
Protests continue at the Occupy Goldface protest site next to the President's office in Colombo.
The Occupy Goldface protesters engaged in a demonstration this afternoon demanding an end to the government crackdown on dissent. Lotus Road was closed for around an hour as a result of the demonstration. There is an attempt to suppress the Aragalaya. They portray the opening of the President's office as an act of heroism, just as they portray the presence of the military. This is what we say to them. They have no mandate. The entire country is against Ranil. They have now listed out the activists who need to be arrested. What is this suppression? They are trying to arrest the activists as per the provisions of the Archaeological Sites Act. Arrests made under those acts are non-bailable. They are preparing for suppression. We are not afraid of that. They are filing multiple cases against us, and as a result, a travel ban was imposed on 6 activists. There is an attempt to imprison hundreds under the Archaeological Sites Act and have them behind bars until the cases are over. They are trying to use the courts for this process. We will defeat these attempts. Goldface protesters continue to remain at the agitation site in Goldface.
The Colombo Magistrates Court today imposed a travel ban on 6 activists from the Aragalaya.
The Colombo Magistrates Court today issued an order preventing the convener of the Inter-University Students Federation, Wasantha Mudalige, Lahiru Veerasekara, trade union leader Joseph Stalin, Eranga Gunasekara, Reverend Father Jeevantha Peris and Rangan Lakmal from travelling overseas. The order was made citing an incident where they are alleged to have been members of an unlawful assembly opposite the police headquarters recently and caused damage to the property. The order was made by Colombo Fort Magistrate Tilina Gamage after considering a request made by the Colombo Crimes Division. The CCD informed court that investigations are underway against 6 individuals for causing damage to public property during an unlawful assembly opposite the police headquarters in Colombo. Sri Lankan authorities have recovered a T-56 assault rifle that was stolen during a protest on the 9th of July 2022 at the Polduwa junction close to the parliament. Sri Lanka police said a T-56 assault rifle and an empty magazine were discovered in the Diyavanna Oya towards parliament close to the Samanala bridge in Rajagiriya. The police media division said the weapon and magazine were discovered by Sri Lanka Navy divers, and the police spokesperson SSP Attorney at Law Nihal Talduwa, speaking to Newsfirst, said the area was inspected due to suspicions. He also said that when the same area was searched earlier, several tear gas ammo was located. Sri Lanka police arrested 3 people who attempted to sell several items that were looted from the president's office recently after protesters stormed the premises on the 9th of July. Sri Lanka police said that 3 men from Rajagiriya were arrested when they attempted to sell 40 gold-plated brass balls that were used at the president's office to hang curtains as antiques. The suspects are to be handed over to the Colombo North Crimes Investigation Division that is already conducting an inquiry at the President's office.
Main sponsor.
Earn a highest interest rate of 21% for 4 months fixed deposits. LB Yasaisuru.
Biz Fast.
Litro Gas Company says that gas queues will be eliminated before the 31st of July. Chairman of Litro Gas, Mudita Piris, told Newsfirst that they have secured gas supply for the next 1.5 years.
We have secured
the supply of gas for 4 months, all the way until October. We have enough stocks of gas. We have issued 1.1 million cylinders of gas into the market until now. We will end gas queues across Sri Lanka by the 31st of July. We have issued a tender for the gas requirement in Sri Lanka for 12 months starting from October. We will select the supplier before the end of October, securing the supply of gas for 12 months. Therefore, I am confident to say that the supply of gas in Sri Lanka has been secured for the next 16 months. We have received 70 million as aid from the World Bank. We have started making payments for shipments. We have invested 20 billion rupees into this. Litro Gas Limited itself has invested 90 million from company funds. Nobody should worry about the supply of gas for the next 16 months. We will say that with responsibility.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa warned that instead of democracy, what is seen in the country is state-sponsored violence.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa met with the National Reforms Movement that comprises of politicians, professionals and representatives of various social spheres.
ව්‍යවස්ථාමය ක්‍රමවේදය තුල හිස්වුණු ජනාධිපති දුහුරේට පාර්ලිමේන්තුව තුල
After the election in Parliament for the vacant presidency, new journey and a new consensual program can only take place for the future progress of the country by leaving aside violence. However, what happened recently is a devastating situation that has left us lost for words. We condemn the move made to drag away the democratic rights of the people to the gallows by singing state violence and state terrorism. Therefore, the political reform process must be created by us, and we must prevent the creation of a dictatorial rule.
මේ දේශපාලන ප්‍රතිසංස්කරණ ක්‍රියාවලිය තුල අප නිර්මාණය කළ යුතු වන්නේ ඒකාධිපතිත්වයක් කුමන ආකාරයකින්වත් නිර්මාණය කිරීම වැළැක්වීම.
The travel ban imposed on ex-Central Bank Governor Ajit Niwad Cabral was extended to 26th of October by the Colombo Magistrates Court today. The order was made by Colombo Additional Magistrate Harshana Kakunavala after considering a complaint filed by ex-Provincial Governor Kirti Tennakon.
Provincial Council Governor Kirti Tennakon filed the complaint under 6 individual charges accusing Cabral of misusing public funds during his tenure as the CBSL governor. Cabral was also the 12th governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka from July 2006 to January 2015, and the complaint noted that during that period he caused a loss of 10.06 billion rupees to the government by selling treasury bonds and bills from the central bank to close associates. Another charge is that Cabral was involved in revealing insider information. It also goes on to state that during his tenure as the central bank governor, Cabral paid $6.5 million to American political donor Imad Zuberi without the cabinet's approval, and thereby is responsible for criminal breach of trust and criminal abuse of funds. The complaint also alleges that while serving as the governor of the central bank, Cabral caused the loss of $500 million to the government in sovereign bonds from the 5th September 2021 to 4th April 2022.
The World Food Programme says that over 5 million Sri Lankans are skipping meals to get by, and rural families are no exception. It said that if farmers don't gain access to seeds, other inputs and financial assistance, the upcoming season could see a reduction in paddy planting areas by 50%. Moving on to more local news, the second phase of the Divisavya program to distribute dry rations among families in need was held for the 19th day today. The program is sponsored by LOLC Holdings.
Essential relief packages were distributed at selected locations in the Batiklo district. The Divisavya program aims at supporting low-income families suffering in the face of the economic crisis.
News First with the people.
The Allergy Immunology and Cell Biology Unit of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura warned that there is a risk of monkeypox extending in Sri Lanka. Dr. Chandimaji Vandara told Newsfirst that as the symptoms of monkeypox is visible, it is easy to identify the infected cases, adding that the spread is far less than what was experienced with COVID-19.
The World Health Organization has activated its highest alert level for the growing monkeypox outbreak, declaring the virus a public health emergency of international concern. The rare designation means the WHO now views the outbreak as a significant enough threat to global health that a coordinated international response is needed to prevent the virus from spreading further and potentially escalating into a pandemic. The Government Information Department said that 2 COVID-19 deaths were reported for Sunday, the 24th of July. At the same time, it said that 75 COVID-19 cases were reported today, the 25th of July.
Today marks 1 year since the passing of the former chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group, the late Mr. R. Raja Mahendran. Many multi-religious events were held yesterday and today in remembrance of the former chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group.
An almsgiving for the Mahasangha took place at the city office of the Sirasa Media Network located at Braybrook Place, Colombo. Mahasangha from the Hunupitiya Gangaramaya temple in Colombo made their way to the almsgiving. The Mahasangha praised the services rendered by the late Mr. R. Raja Mahendran to society, culture and religion.
He is a person who had a deep connection with the grassroots of this country. Although he did not come forward for fame, he did his duty for the country, community and religion. We invoke blessings on such a noble gentleman.
A Holy Mass was organized in memory of the late Mr. R. Rajamahendran at the All Saints Church in Colombo 8.
But though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day.
Every human person is created by the Lord in his own image and likeness, and the Lord has a plan for him or her. It is in the realization of this plan whereby we make our life of service to our brothers and sisters, a life of complete dedication to one's own fatherland, a life of love towards all those who are close to one another, that we grow and we become fruitful. Therefore, we thank God for the life of Mr. Kili Raja Mahendran, who served this country and its people so selflessly.
Kili loved the business he did, the media he built, every moment of every day. He was passionate, he was determined, and he was successful as a result. His life was one of giving, be it to the Hindu or Buddhist temples, to the churches, to sports, or uplifting the poorest of the poor, or just simply helping a friend. He gave with his right hand and expected nothing in return. His generosity had no limits, a quality that is incredibly rare. We should consider ourselves extremely fortunate to have encountered a soul as special as Kili in our lifetime.
Muslim religious activities in memory of the late chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group took place at the Al Taqwa Mosque in Kirlapana. Hindu religious activities in memory of the late chairman were held at the Naguleswar Kovil in Kiramalai, Jaffna. Hindu religious activities also took place at the Sri Siddhi Vinayagar Kovil in Agarapatana, Nuwara. A Dhamma sermon also took place at the Stein Studios in Ratmalana on Sunday in remembrance of the former chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group, the late Mr. R. Rajamahendran. An almsgiving took place this morning at the Stein Studios premises. Another Dhamma sermon was organized at the Deparnama studios of the Sirasa Media Network yesterday to invoke blessings on the former chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group, the late Mr. R. Rajamahendran. An almsgiving also took place at the Deparnama studio complex this morning. An almsgiving also took place at ICL Brands Private Limited, a subsidiary of the Capital Maharaja Group.
We'll be back after a short commercial break. Stay with us.
මොකද මහත්තයා මේ?
නෑ මේ ගෙදර සිංක් එකේ
අයි මහත්තයා ස්ලෝන් නෙවෙයිද දැම්මේ?
හදිස්සියට බාලා පයිප් එකක් දැම්මේ. නැද්ද මුදලාලි ඊයේ පෙරේදා කඩේ රිපෙයාර් කරන්න ගෙනාපු ගම් චුට්ටක්.
මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න වලට හොඳම විසඳුම ස්ලෝන් ගම් චුට්ටක්. හැබැයි ඉක්මනින් දාගන්න ස්ලෝන් පයිප් එකක්.
එස්ලෝන් ගම් චුට්ටා හැම ගෙදරකම සිටිය යුතු ජනනල කාර්මිකයා දැන් රඟම ග්‍රොසරියෙන් මිලදී ගන්න.
For the first time in Sri Lanka, EVA unveiled an antibacterial layer to minimize microbial growth and control odor, helping you stay fresher throughout the day. EVA, leading with confidence.
In your sports news, Denmark's Jonas Vingegaard secured his first Tour de France victory as Jasper Philipsen of Belgium won the sprint on the final stage in Paris.
Philipsen was an easy winner on the
And that's a wrap of primetime news here on News First, where the people come first. For all these stories and much more, you can visit our website, that is www.newsfirst.lk.